Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to What Do English People Think About America Part 2. I reacted to Part 1, I think nearly 4 years ago now. So I can't remember anything that was in that video whatsoever. But these videos always tend to be quite snidey towards one another. But more so English people towards America. Because I also saw that I did a reaction to Americans, what do Americans think about England. And I can't remember what was said in that one either. But I feel like you tend to find these videos, Brits or Europeans or whatever, always have sort of a snidey sort of point of view towards America. Probably just because when you see stuff on the news, right, you judge countries from what you see. And because Europeans, a lot of like the stuff that happens in America is quite big news in Europe and in England. And you just see certain stories and then you think a certain way. And then you get, I guess, what we're going to see now is people thinking quite negatively of American people when it's just not really a fair thing to have a point of view of people, a whole country based on certain news stories and things like that, you know. But we're going to see, maybe I'll be proven wrong. I would like to be proven wrong because I feel like in the grand scheme of things, that's not necessarily how people think. But then when you see videos like this, it's hard to argue against that's sort of been the point of view from a lot of people. But we're going to see what people say in this video. Hopefully going to enjoy. Hopefully you're all doing well. Links are also in the description to my Patreon where you can see reactions to videos that I can't post to YouTube. Also, I'm going to try and remember to put the link to the original that I reacted to, because again, 4 years ago nearly, I wasn't even living in this apartment, which is how I know it was a long time ago. But yeah, I'll try and remember to link that video. But if not, just search the same title for this video and then put Lav Luca, and then you should be able to find it. But if you want to see that. But let's check this out and see what English people think about America.
James Prime here. You guys remember that video I did a while ago called What English People Think About Americans? Well, I read a comment that reads something like this. Am I the only one sick of seeing London all the time? When do you ever see Manchester, Liverpool, or any other British city? Man. And some other comments saying, if you only went to London, you really haven't been to England. And I get it. So for this, part 2, I came all the way out here to York, England to get some of their thoughts and opinions. Now, sorry to interrupt. James from your future here. Just heads up, it's going to rain. Your SD cards are going to get wet, and all your footage is going to be gone. So don't worry. I'm actually really worried. Well, this is where the good news comes in. You get the chance to walk around York, England for hours on end all over again and interview a bunch of different people.
That's pain, bro. You done a whole interview and it all just corrupted. Classic England weather, ruining it for everyone.
So, see you, chump.
God damn it. So he's up north. I feel like Northerners will probably be, I'm going to say at least a bit nicer. Not as, again, I can't remember what I said in the previous one, but I feel like Londoners are probably quite snidey, just looking down upon people. Northerners, you tend to find are a lot more warming and friendly. Don't get me wrong, some of them will probably still have things to say that people won't like, but I do wonder if these videos, if he ever actually shows people saying positive things, and I hope that is the case.
I can't believe the probability
Every day is pancake day.
Have you ever been to the US?
I haven't been to America. If I was going to go to America, I would like to go to San Francisco and New York City.
Would you ever go to one of the best cities in America? It's called Fremont, Ohio.
Yeah, I would consider it.
Not yet, but I would love to go.
Yes, I have.
Oh, where'd you go?
LA.
That's where I want to go.
Hawaii, Honolulu.
No.
Wow.
No, would love to go to America and intend going with two destinations. My partner's daughter stayed in San Francisco recently. She loved it, so yeah, we're really determined to get to San Francisco and really determined to get to New York as well.
Never. I've never been to America. My whole family have been, but I've never been.
Haven't been to America.
Yes.
You have?
Yeah.
Where did you go?
I've been to Florida and New York.
I've also been to Florida, Orlando.
Yes, quite a few times.
All right, okay, where'd you go?
We went down to Seattle for 2 or 3 days. Sin City, Las Vegas.
Never, no.
So what are your general thoughts about America? So when you think America, what comes to mind?
So far, it seems like a positive sort of view. People seem to want to go there and enjoy it. So I'm assuming we're going to get some positive answers.
Well, American TV. I like the films. I like the programs. I love America, so I need to be there. I need to go and visit.
It's a nice place where I've been. I'd like to do Route 66 on a hog. People
You
are
like
friendly.
the food, Twinkies and all that, cupcakes.
Yeah,
He loves
Twinkies
the
and
food.
cupcakes, yeah.
Like rednecks, like the South, like that.
I think politics or food.
Donald Trump
and diners.
I guess the first thing, I was brought up watching westerns, so the first thing I think of is big open spaces. I think of mountains, lakes, rivers.
Oh, he's damn right. From what I've just seen on YouTube, he's damn right.
I think of Black Lives Matters. I think of Hollywood. I also think of racism. I think especially the South. And I think about slavery as well and its history and how its history was built on slavery, taking a country from native peoples. So I think about all of those things, but I think it's very complex. So yeah, lots of thoughts, lots of good positive thoughts as well as the negative.
I know, obviously, around the world there's lots of people that have opinions about British politics, but we are not necessarily or come across as racist as a lot of the Americans are in terms of the Americanism culture. So I feel like that was a really difficult time for you, potentially quite a bad move, and whoever is in now is really old.
Wait, when was this video done? 3 years ago. 2021. So May 2021. So I'm trying to think of what the world was like then. So COVID, we just came out of like lockdowns and stuff. This was just before the England Euro stuff when loads of shit happened here as well, like involving racism. It's hard to sort of gauge where the world was at this point, because Biden was in charge, and when she said he was old, yep, he is old, and now we know what's happened regarding that and stuff. But damn, there's a lot of people saying a lot of different stuff though.
I'd say burgers.
But that's the thing though, you're asking what people think the positives and negatives, right? So I guess people have got to give their opinions and share like both sides. Same with Britain and same with England. People are going to say the positives and then the negatives. The food's awful. They've colonised all these places, and you're going to talk about all different things regarding a country. So I get that people are going to share opinions on both sides, and I think that's fair enough.
To be honest, that's the first thing that came into my head.
Whether it's 100% true or they've got like sort of biases towards certain things is how it's going to be. Wait, he's talking about burgers. I'm here for this, baby.
To be honest, that's the first thing that came into my head. Like a burger. I love burgers.
Drive-ins, like as in like takeaway food. Positive people, I feel like as well. Chatty people, Disney, Florida. It's so stereotypical. Music as well, I guess.
Should be
Culture.
land of the free, home of the brave, but not so much these days.
So big.
He's got
There's
such
so
a
many
raspy
different
voice.
types of cultures and stuff involved as well. Different thoughts and beliefs.
Now, when it comes to Americans, the people themselves, what do you think about like the people?
Honestly, you're the only American I've met, and my impression of you is amazing, and I love this.
She's so positive. She's so positive.
This is amazing. I'm going to be on YouTube. This is ace. So yeah, very positive.
Get a
Friendly.
call.
This is ace. So yeah, very positive.
Friendly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
From what I've met.
The difference in culture, they're a bit more forward spoken than the British, I guess. I don't know. I think we're quite similar in terms of Western tendencies.
I do think there is a large amount of Americans that are probably not spoken about. The ones that are really friendly, the ones that are really approachable, and the ones who can have a little bit of a laugh.
99% of them.
But in TV programs and things, you don't necessarily see that come across, and I don't feel that Americans get sarcasm. They don't understand our British humour, which at times can be quite crude.
I guess my
that's
thoughts are
fair, I don't know.
heavily influenced by politics, and particularly by what's been happening in recent years. So I can't believe the gullibility of people voting and supporting a president like Donald Trump. I read just recently.
This is going to piss people off. Here we go.
Just 2 days ago, that 70% of Republicans still believe the vote was rigged, and I just find that incredible. That despite all of this overwhelming
So this was just literally after the election. So to be fair, that was a lot of stuff going on. That was a crazy time. Was this like the storming the White House and stuff? I think this was around the time. It must have been. Damn, this is crazy. This is just bringing me back to those times, because I remember doing reactions to that stuff when it was happening, and I ended up not posting the reaction.
Evidence, people still believe that. So I think, I do think there's a degree of gullibility. But on the other hand, Americans are an amazing people. They're so creative, and they contribute so much to the world as well. So
It's hard. I haven't actually met that many American people.
Right.
But again, the ones I have met, very friendly.
Right.
Maybe a bit like too friendly. But like in a nice way. It's sort of like refreshing, I think.
I'm going to go with the first thing that came into my head. I thought fat. That's what came to mind. Do you know, I was thinking maybe it's because I just saw Super Size Me really recently, so maybe that explains the burger and the fat. I know a few Americans. They're great.
I think there's a broad range. There's a stereotype of like them just being a bit stupid, but I don't think that's necessarily true. I think they're just like everyone else. You could say it about England as well. Like there's some stupid people, but there's some smart people.
When I went to Disney, so it was just magical. So everyone just seemed really lovely. But no, I agree.
Customer service is amazing over there.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't get that here.
Yeah. No, everyone's chatty and friendly, I think.
The Americans that I've met, great people.
Okay.
But having said that, usually there's alcohol involved, and it's usually sat around a bar. I was in Vegas for Trump's election night, a Brit, and a bar full of Trumpers. I could not do a thing wrong. I did not buy a drink all night. It was great.
What is something you like about America?
There are some amazing places, from what I've seen on TV and stuff. It's massive as well, so there's so many different places you can go and things to see, and
The weather.
The weather, oh yes. I love it all, mate.
2A, Second Amendment.
Quite like your different styles of music.
He's like an honorary American. I'm liking this video. He's actually he's asking people all of different sort of like points of like life, beliefs and stuff. Usually these videos is everyone saying the same thing, but you're getting actually a mixture of things being said.
Second Amendment.
Quite like your different styles of music. So I do love country music. The best place to go and see country music is in America, and I think music brings a lot of people together, and in that respect you do well. You've got a really lovely accent, and there's a lot of hot boys in America.
Really?
Yeah.
Right, well, I've just mentioned creativity, and I guess that's one of the key things. I read a lot, and I love American literature. I love American films. Perhaps the music now has changed a lot, but I still appreciate the talent that goes into producing the music. But again, I come back to that thing about, America is this huge contrasting country, and that's what makes it one of the things that makes it so fascinating. So big, busy cities with so much going on, so much energy, and then these massive landscapes where there's hardly anything there. So I think of all of those things.
Music, it's always been music for me, as I said at the beginning, like music videos and like old hip-hop culture and stuff.
I really like the whole, how big the country is, and that you could literally drive, you can get everything, like any kind of landscape, any kind of weather, you can get it if you just travel. I'd love to do like a road trip sort of across America and see all of the different places. I think the landscape probably really beautiful. I don't know why I really want to go to New England. Because I've seen photos of it and I'm like, wow, it just looks so like beautiful.
The size, I like the fact that you can go on holiday in your own country, and like how big it is, like the weather and stuff, how it changes from like one part to another.
Right.
Because you can't really do that here, it's all the same.
Just how expansive it is, and how I think forward thinking, but also perhaps not forward thinking it is.
New York. The idea of New York, I think it's amazing. I love the idea of like going to New York and like the streets, like the kind of like, because it's like all like grid-like, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like right on a grid.
It's all that's kind of cool. I think I've not but like a taxi in New York is kind of cool.
Yellow taxi,
like one of those yellow. Do you still have yellow taxis in New York? Yeah. That's the sort of thing I like.
Something you don't like about America?
Well, again, I think I've probably said it in my earlier answers, is that just unbelievable, that gullibility to support a president like Donald Trump. And there is a lot of bigotry and a lot of hatred in the States as well, and certainly that's perspective we have, of people overseas have.
The complete lack of care and consideration when eating chloroform chicken and meat that's got plastic in. Yeah, there's really no...
Wait, what? Plastic in? What meat has plastic in? I'm trying to think. I know the term plastic cheese, which is obviously just the cheese that you put with your burgers, which actually slaps. But chicken with plastic in, I'm kind of... Is it just the process of making foods there or something? I don't know.
Sort of laws which protect animals, and I feel like as a consumer, Americans need to be a little bit more aware about what they're putting in their bodies, how it's affecting the environment, and the negative impacts on climate change and how it's going to affect the rest of the world in the future. Right. If we could take what you guys and Americans eat in a year, we could feed the world.
It's a little bit political, but it's like this Black Lives Matter thing that started over there because of... Exactly what I was going to say, all lives matter. Right. But it predominantly, for me, came from America, and now you've got idiots in the street doing all this Black Lives Matter.
Right.
All lives matter. I'm not racist in any way, shape or form.
Everybody
so
bleeds red. We're all the
why
same.
That started there in London. You get all the gangs going around wannabe Americans. Do you get me? All the gang culture and that lot. That's a bad thing because it doesn't come from the unless the English are that narrow-minded that they watch the films and think that that's what it's like out there. Right. But do you get me? It's like the gang culture and all that kind of coming from America. That's the only thing I can say I don't really like about it. Yeah.
Recently, I don't really like how the politics works. It's hard to say because I feel like there's inequality in every society, right. But I feel like it's very heightened over there at the moment. And I don't know if that's just because of the news and how it's portrayed in the news. The American dream and like get rich quick, and if you work hard, you'll get there. I just feel like it doesn't work for everyone, and I feel like a lot of people get let down.
How the President-elect Joe Biden seems to be trying to infringe on the Second Amendment.
Right.
The fact they think Europe is a country.
Right.
Yeah. They refer to Europe as England.
And yeah, like on TikTok, sometimes they just say stuff and you're like, what?
TikTok though, it's flipping TikTok.
Oh, and taking the mick out of like
English
accents. Yeah.
That pisses me off. It's funny, but it pisses me off.
I can't do them.
I don't really get American football, if I'm being honest. I don't get it.
That's the one thing he doesn't like about America. You know what? That's probably the most light-hearted one out of all of them. Yeah, that's probably the one that's going to piss the most people off. Don't come with their American football. That's so funny that that's the thing that he doesn't like about America, though.
But that's possibly coming from a position of not really understanding it. But I just don't really understand. I don't get it. But you're like wearing all the pads, and it's like a kind of like it's like a Broadway musical version of Broadway musicals. I love Broadway musicals. Can I go back to the other one?
I don't know. I've never been.
He just lost his train of thought like that.
I've met 5 American people, so I'm not that quick to judge.
To any Americans out there that are watching this, can you give him your best American?
I think he's probably given the fairest answer because he's not been there, and everyone else I think said they've been there, to be honest. But he can't judge people if he doesn't know them.
An accent.
A man's got to know his limitations.
I'm just reading off this sign. Home of the world famous, the Yorkie Pud. Can you say that in an American accent?
Home of the world famous, the Yorkie Pud.
I feel like it's so bad. The only one I'd go for is like California, like the. Oh my god.
Oh my god, give me a cheeseburger.
I carried a watermelon.
A watermelon?
Wow, I'm from the north of England, that's difficult. Hey guys, love your bud.
Sure, man. Definitely cat. Oh, no, it went bad. Hey, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this one's really on the spot.
Okay, what about... I'm from New York, you piece of doit.
Hey, man. That's totally awesome.
Oh, I'm not very good at accents. I can't even speak my own. Love the smell of napalm in the morning.
All right, so those are some more thoughts and opinions from my English brothers and sisters. Now, to the people
This is a beautiful street, by the way.
participating in this video, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to do this video. Now, to any English people out there that are just so happening to watch this video, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on America. What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I feel like this is a pretty fair video. It's quite balanced. People from different political views and all stuff like this. The irony of a British man saying taking a country away from native peoples. At its height, the British Empire was the largest in the world. Yep, I mean, it's fair. I guess people nitpick certain things. Who's from the US? I'm disappointed to hear TikTok being used as a way. I said that. I mean, again, this is 3 years ago. This was at the height of like the US and all the stuff was happening there. Like the world 3 years ago, I can't lie. I mean, the world now is still fucked, but like 3 years back, I'm looking back at it, and that has got to be like one of the most heightened points that we've been at. In many aspects, we were all locked at home. There were riots. I say riots. Riots were just happening in the UK actually. It feels so nice and refreshing to hear hear Brits speak so humanly yet honestly towards America. Yeah, I mean, people were like just actually sharing real, like, fair opinions in certain ways, and it's just like, it's good to see that there are actually people that won't just judge based off certain things. Like she said, like, seeing people say stupid stuff on TikTok, it's a silly thing. But I don't really think that changes her actual view on Americans. Like I think she said quite a few positive things. So, I mean, yeah, let me know your thoughts on this. It's probably going to stir some people up the wrong way, but I feel like this is a pretty fair video. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts. And until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.